The Skeld drifted through the cold, silent void, its metallic hull a ghost against the backdrop of distant stars. For the crew inside, it was supposed to be just another day, another routine mission. Simple, straightforward. Or so they thought. The team was small, but each member was chosen for their skills. There was Red, the captain, whose strict demeanor and deep-seated distrust kept everyone on their toes. Blue, the strategist, calm and observant, almost unnervingly so. Green, the ever-optimistic engineer, who believed any problem could be fixed with the right tool and a positive attitude. Yellow, whose cheerful curiosity was infectious, though sometimes it led her into trouble. Black, quiet and calculating, a shadow who seemed to see everything from the corners of the room. And finally, Purple, the ship's resident joker, whose constant stream of gags was a thin veil for his own anxieties. The morning began like any other. The hum of the engine, the clatter of tools, and the familiar sound of Purple's laughter echoing down the corridors. But beneath the surface of this normal day, a strange feeling was taking root. A subtle wrongness. The ship's sensors began to register faint fluctuations in the oxygen levels, tiny, almost imperceptible blips that would appear and then vanish. Red, ever the pragmatist, brushed it off as a minor glitch, but Blue, his eyes narrowed, shook his head. "That's no glitch," he murmured, his voice low. "Someone's tampering with the system." Without hesitation, Green volunteered to check the O2 room. "I'll sort it out, Captain," he said with his usual confidence. Yellow, ever the loyal friend, piped up, "No one should go alone anymore," and followed close behind. The two of them disappeared down the hallway, their footsteps fading into the ship's ambient noise. Minutes stretched into an uncomfortable silence. Red tapped his comms unit. "Green, report your status." Only static crackled back. "Yellow, do you copy?" More silence. A cold dread began to seep into the cafeteria. When the door to the O2 room finally slid open, Green was standing there, his posture rigid. But he was alone. Red's voice was sharp. "Where's Yellow?" Green looked bewildered, his hands gesturing vaguely behind him. She was right behind me. I swear it. We were walking back, and then she was just gone." A chill swept through the crew. Blue's gaze dropped to the floor, where he spotted a faint, dark smear leading towards a nearby ventilation shaft. But before he could investigate, Red stopped him with a firm hand on his shoulder. "No more speculation. We stay focused. Everyone sticks together from now on, no exceptions." Later, as the crew tried to fall back into their routine, the ship's lights began to flicker. Once, twice. And then complete darkness plunged the corridors into chaos. A single piercing scream cut through the black, followed by the sickening thud of a vent cover slamming shut. Then an eerie silence descended once more. The emergency lights flickered on, casting long, distorted shadows across the walls. In the meeting room, the emergency button blared. Purple had slammed it, his face pale with panic. "Someone's hunting us! I swear I heard the vent move right before the lights went out!" Black, leaning against the wall with his arms crossed, scoffed. His voice was cold as ice. "Of course you did. You always seem to hear things right before someone disappears, don't you?" Purple's fear turned to anger. "Oh, that's low, Black. Real low. At least I'm not the one lurking in electrical all day." Black pushed himself off the wall, his fists clenched. "Electrical is my assigned task zone." Purple shot back. "Yeah, your task zone or your kill zone." The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Red slammed his hand on the table, the sound echoing in the tense silence. "Enough! We are not going to turn on each other. We don't vote blindly." But Blue, who had been quiet until now, leaned forward, his expression serious. "You're right, Captain. We don't vote blindly, but we can look closer." He slid a tablet onto the center of the table, displaying a security feed. The footage showed the corridor outside O2. Two figures, clearly green and yellow, walked past the camera. Moments later, the feed showed Green walking back, alone. But as he passed, his visor glitched for a split second, shimmering with a strange, static-like distortion. The room fell dead silent. Everyone stared at the screen, the implications sinking in. A glitch in the feed? Red asked, though his voice lacked conviction. Or, Blue said slowly, his eyes scanning the faces around the table, someone is mimicking Green's signal, a perfect copy. Purple swallowed hard, his usual humor completely gone. Wait a minute. You think one of us isn't who they look like? Red's gaze swept over each crewmate, a new terrifying suspicion dawning in his eyes. Whatever is happening here, he declared, his voice a low growl, it ends tonight. But as they filed out of the meeting room, the lights flickered again. This time, they pulsed with an unnatural, rhythmic brightness, as if the ship itself had a heartbeat. And from the darkness of the hallway ahead, a voice emerged. It was calm, steady, and chillingly familiar. Captain, I think I know who the imposter is. Everyone froze, turning toward the sound. Standing there, silhouetted by the pulsing emergency lights, was Green. Who do you think the imposter is? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this series, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for the next episode. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.